What if I told you the hour you wake up could determine the course of your entire life? It sounds extreme, maybe even ridiculous. But what if 4 a.m. wasn't just an early alarm? What if it was a portal? A doorway to the discipline, clarity, and momentum you've been chasing for years. This video is called Wake Up at 4 a.m. and Change Your Life for a reason. Not because 4 a.m. is magical, but because what happens in your mind, your body, and your soul in those early hours is. At 4 a.m., there's no noise, no distractions, just stillness. While the rest of the world dreams, a few bold people are already in motion, writing their goals, hitting the gym, meditating, planning, learning, creating. They're not better than you. They're not smarter. But they've discovered a secret. Winning your day starts before the sun rises. So let me ask you, why do so many successful people swear by 4 a.m. wake-ups? What's actually happening in the brain when you rise that early? And could you, someone, with a regular life and real responsibilities, actually do this and make it stick? In the next 35 minutes, you're going to discover the truth. We'll explore the neuroscience of early rising, the morning routines of top performers, the energy, creativity, and confidence that come with taking control of your mornings. We'll also expose the myths. Not everyone needs to wake up at 4 a.m., but if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like life is passing you by, this might just be the shift you need. You'll get real strategies, a step-by-step plan, and a challenge to prove that it's not just about waking up early, it's about waking up to your full potential. By the end of this video, you'll understand why 4 a.m. has changed lives and how it could change yours. No more excuses. No more waiting. This is your wake-up call. The psychology of waking up early. Why does waking up early feel so different? Why do some people claim it gives them a psychological edge, while others dread the idea? The answer lies deep in how our brain is wired. At 4 a.m., your mind is in a unique state. You're still in, or just exiting, your final REM sleep cycle. This is when your brain is most creative, intuitive, and emotionally open. It's the perfect time to journal, visualize, or solve problems. In fact, some of the most brilliant minds in history, Benjamin Franklin, Maya Angelou, Tim Cook, structured their lives around early morning work for this very reason. But there's more going on than just quiet time and willpower. Waking up early gives you a powerful psychological gift, a sense of control. When you rise before the world, you're not reacting to emails, problems, or other people's expectations. You're setting your own tempo. That sense of ownership over your time builds something psychologists call internal locus of control, a belief that you influence your life's direction. People with a strong internal locus tend to be more successful, happier, and resilient. On top of that, early rising taps into a well-documented behavioral effect, the fresh start effect. Studies show that people are more motivated to pursue goals after a temporal landmark, a birthday, a new month, or a new day. Waking up at 4 a.m. isn't just a new day. It feels like a new identity, a reset button. It's not just morning. It's, I'm becoming the person I said I'd be time. Here's another key psychological factor, decision fatigue. Throughout the day, your brain depletes energy making decisions, big and small. But at 4 a.m., that tank is full. It's the golden hour for high-leverage decisions, planning, writing, and strategy. You think clearer because the world hasn't had a chance to distract you yet. And then there's discipline. Anyone can wake up early once, but doing it consistently? That builds mental toughness. Not the hyped-up cold shower, hustle-hard kind, but the quiet, steady kind that rewires your identity. When you show up for yourself repeatedly, especially when it's hard, your self-trust grows. That trust becomes the foundation for long-term success. But here's what most people miss. Early rising doesn't just affect your mornings, it rewires your evenings. You start going to bed with intention. You cut out distractions. You prioritize recovery. The entire rhythm of your life shifts. And when your rhythm changes, your mindset changes. You're no longer chasing your day. You're leading it. The psychological payoff? You feel capable. You feel in motion. You feel like someone who follows through, and perhaps most importantly, you feel proud. Because waking up at 4 a.m. isn't just a behavior. It's a signal to your brain that you're serious about changing your life. And your brain responds. New habits stick more easily. Procrastination weakens. You build momentum. Now, this doesn't mean early mornings are some magical fix. If you're sleep-deprived, anxious, or burning out, 4 a.m. won't save you. But when done with balance and intention, it becomes a tool, a psychological lever. In fact, a 2020 study published in the journal Sleep Health found that individuals who consistently woke up early and had a structured morning routine reported higher levels of life satisfaction, lower cortisol levels, and greater focus throughout the day. It's not just motivation, it's neuroscience. And let's talk briefly about motivation. Waking up early flips the script. Instead of looking for motivation to start your day, your early wake-up becomes the source of motivation itself. Irarki. Feel momentum just by showing up. Every morning becomes a tiny win, and those stack faster than you think. So no, waking up at 4 a.m. doesn't make you better than anyone else, but it might make you better than your past self. More intentional, more grounded, more awake, not just in the physical sense, but awake to your life and what it could be. Number D. Who wakes up at 4 a.m. and why? Waking up at 4 a.m. sounds intense, until you realize how many high performers across the world swear by it. This isn't a gimmick. It's a common thread that runs through the lives of people pushing the edge of human potential. Take Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. He's up at 3:45 a.m. His first hour? Email catch-up, strategic planning, and a workout. Why? Because by the time the rest of the world is waking up, he's already created mental space to lead. Michelle Obama, another 4 a.m. riser. Before she was First Lady, when she was juggling her own legal career and raising 2 daughters, she carved out early mornings for herself. Her workouts weren't just physical. They were emotional anchors. It was the only time I had for me, she said. Then there's Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks. He was brewing vision long before others had brewed their coffee. Up before dawn, Howard used that quiet time to review strategy and envision the brand's future. When asked why, he simply said, "My best decisions happen when I'm alone in the silence." These people don't wake up early because it's easy. They do it because it gives them space, focus, autonomy. And that's a pattern worth noticing. But it's not just CEOs and politicians. Jocko Willink, retired Navy SEAL commander, posts his 4:30 a.m. watch every day on social media. Why? To show that discipline doesn't sleep. His message: you don't need motivation, you need habits. And those habits are built in the dark, long before the world can see them. Robin Sharma, author of the 5 a.m. Club, popularized the idea that the early morning is a victory hour, a time when your brain is most programmable. He argues that the first hour of the day dictates the rest. Mindset, heart set, health set, soul set. He breaks it into a 20-20-20 formula: 20 minutes of movement, 20 of reflection, 20 of growth. Not 4 a.m. exactly, but close enough to tap into the same neurochemical magic. But here's the real twist. It's not just the elite. Thousands of creators, freelancers, students, and 9-to-5 workers are discovering the same thing. Go on Reddit, YouTube, or Twitter, and you'll see the stories. Waking up at 4 gave me my creativity back. I wrote my entire novel in those early hours. My anxiety dropped just by having time for me before the chaos. The people waking up at 4 a.m. aren't chasing hype. They're reclaiming life. In a world addicted to speed and noise, 4 a.m. is silence. It's slow, intentional. And sometimes, the only way to hear what really matters is to get up when no one else does. So why does this work so well? Because waking up at 4 is countercultural. You're not scrolling. You're not reacting. You're choosing. And every time you choose discomfort over comfort, intention over autopilot, you train your brain that you are in charge, and that rewires everything. When you choose to wake up early, you're not just adjusting your schedule, you're reshaping your identity. You start thinking, if I can do this, what else can I take on? That's why 4 a.m. matters. It's not about perfection. It's not about grinding. It's about ownership. And that's why the people who wake up early tend to be the ones designing their own lives, while others are still dreaming. Number 4, breaking the myth. Is 4 a.m. for everyone? Let's be real. Waking up at 4 a.m. isn't for everyone. And guess what? That's perfectly okay. In a world obsessed with extremes, we've romanticized the early riser as the ultimate symbol of discipline. But biology doesn't care about hustle culture. Your body has its own internal rhythm, called a chronotype, and not everyone's wired for pre-dawn productivity. Some people are larks, early birds who thrive in the morning. Others are owls, late-night thinkers who hit their stride when the sun goes down. This isn't laziness. It's genetics. A 2019 study published in Nature Communications analyzed the DNA of over 700,000 people and found more than 350 genetic factors that determine whether you're a morning or evening person. So, forcing yourself to wake up at 4 a.m. against your biology? That's not discipline. It's disruption. Here's the truth. The goal isn't to copy someone else's schedule. It's to build a system that aligns with your biology and priorities. Yes, waking up early has powerful benefits. But waking up intentionally, whenever that is for you, is what really matters. Let's break down a few myths. Myth number 1. If you sleep in, you're lazy. Reality. If you went to bed at midnight and woke up at 8 a.m., that's a solid 8 hours. Productivity isn't about the hour on the clock. It's about energy, focus, and momentum. Some of the world's most successful creatives, like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, aren't early risers. They win their day because they know when. They perform best, not because they wake up before sunrise. Myth number 2. Waking up early means you'll be more successful. Correlation doesn't mean causation. Yes, many high performers wake up early, but it's not the time that makes them successful. It's what they do with it. You can wake up at 4 a.m. and waste it scrolling your phone. Or you can wake up at 10 a.m. and crush 4 hours of deep, focused work. Discipline isn't a clock, it's a choice. Myth number 3. You have to suffer to grow. No. You have to be strategic to grow. If waking up early turns you into a sleep-deprived zombie, it's not helping you. It's hurting you. Growth comes from consistency, and consistency comes from sustainability. So how do you know if 4 a.m. is right for you? Ask yourself a few questions. Do you feel energized after 7 or 8 hours of sleep starting at 9 p.m.? Do your most important tasks benefit from early silence? Can you maintain this routine long-term, or is it burning you out? If the answer is yes, 4 a.m. might be a game changer. But if not, don't force it. Instead, build your version of a protected time block. A quiet, uninterrupted zone when you can think, move, or create without distraction. Whether that's 4 a.m., 6 a.m., or 10 p.m. It's the structure, not the schedule. That matters, because here's the deeper point. This video isn't about becoming a morning person. It's about becoming the kind of person who shows up for themselves, who leads their day instead of reacting to it, who designs their life instead of drifting through it. Waking up at 4 a.m. is just one path to that. The real goal? Wake up on purpose. Whether that's literal or metaphorical, whether it's before dawn or after sunrise. So yes, 4 a.m. can change your life, but so can self-awareness. So can clarity. So can protecting your time with ruthless focus and unwavering intention. In the next section, we're going to show you how to build that routine, 4 a.m. or not, and make it your new default. Number 5. The power of solitude and silence. There's something sacred about being awake when the world is not. It's not just quiet, it's silent. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of space. A space where your thoughts can stretch out, where your mind can finally breathe, and in that space, something shifts. Science confirms what ancient wisdom has always known. Silence heals. It regulates your nervous system, lowers cortisol, and improves focus. A 2013 study published in Brain, Structure and Function found that 2 minutes of silence was more relaxing than even classical music, because it activates the brain's default mode network. This is where creativity, insight, and memory consolidation happen. At 4 a.m., your phone isn't buzzing. Notifications aren't screaming for your attention. Nobody needs you. For once, your thoughts aren't bouncing off a wall of noise. They're landing, taking root. Solitude, especially in the early morning, isn't loneliness. It's power. This is the hour when you can hear yourself clearly, the real you. Not the version shaped by Instagram, emails, or trending topics. Just you. Raw. Present. Undistracted. This is where big decisions are born. This is where your best ideas surface. Not because you're trying harder, but because there's room for them. Think about it. Most people go days, weeks even, without a single moment of intentional stillness. They're in constant motion, consuming, reacting, running. And they wonder why they feel disconnected from themselves. But the 4 a.m. hour invites you back. To write without pressure. To stretch without distraction. To breathe without rushing. To sit in silence. Not to escape the world, but to reconnect with it. And this is where the magic happens. In solitude, you reconnect with your why. Your purpose becomes louder than your doubts. Your vision becomes clearer than your fear. Your inner voice, which normally gets drowned out by the noise of the day, finally gets a chance to speak. That voice says, "You can change. You can do this. You were meant for more." And hearing that voice consistently, that's what builds belief. That's what builds momentum. But here's the trick. You have to protect it. You don't need 10 hours of silence. You need 30 minutes. Maybe just 10. But you need them daily. You need to show up to that silence the same way you'd show up to a workout, a business meeting, or a commitment to someone you love, because solitude is self-love. It's not selfish. It's where you recalibrate, recharge, refocus. That's why some of the most productive people in the world guard their morning solitude like treasure. It's not a flex. It's a survival tool. In a world that never stops shouting, silence becomes a superpower. So whether you wake up at 4 a.m. or 7 a.m., create a space of stillness. Make it sacred. Make it yours. Because in that silence, you don't just find clarity. You find yourself. Number 6. Building your 4 a.m. routine step by step. So you're inspired. You see the value. But now comes the real challenge. How do you actually build a 4 a.m. routine that sticks? It's not enough to just set your alarm earlier. You need a system. A plan. A lifestyle shift that doesn't just force change. It sustains it. Here's a full, step-by-step blueprint. Step 1. Start with why. Build identity, not just habits. Before we talk routines, we need to talk identity. If your goal is just to wake up early, you'll fail. But if your goal is to become someone who values peace, intention, and discipline, now you're playing a different game. Write this down. I am the kind of person who fill it in, protects their mornings, shows up for themselves, builds their future before sunrise. That's your starting point. This is about transformation, not a trend. Step 2. Win the night before. The secret to waking up early? It starts the night before. Sleep is non-negotiable. You can't sacrifice it. Aim for 7-8 hours. That means if you're waking at 4, you're asleep by 8:30 or 9 p.m. To make that happen, dim the lights at 7:30 p.m. This signals your brain it's time to wind down. No screens after 8 p.m. Blue light delays melatonin, your sleep hormone. Use a pre-sleep ritual. Read, journal, stretch, meditate, anything that slows your mind. Set an alarm for bedtime, not just for waking up. When it goes off, treat it like an appointment with your future self. Step 3. Make 4 a.m. non-negotiable. The first few days will feel brutal. That's normal. Your body is resisting change, but your brain loves consistency. Every time you wake at 4 a.m., you're rewiring your circadian rhythm. Within 10-14 days, it gets easier. Make it easier by preparing the night before. Place your phone or alarm across the room. Have your clothes ready. Know exactly what your first 10 minutes will look like. Discipline isn't willpower. It's removing friction. Step 4. The first 30 minutes. Prime. Your state. What you do in the first 30 minutes sets the tone for your entire day. Use Robin Sharma's 20-20-20 method as a base. 20 minutes. Move, jumping jacks, yoga, light jog, anything to raise your heart. Rate. 20 minutes, reflect. Journaling, gratitude practice, or prayer. 20 minutes, grow. Read a book, listen to a podcast, review your goals. This doesn't have to be perfect. Just protect those 30 minutes like your life depends on it, because your direction in life might. Step 5. Craft a custom routine, not a copy-paste. Here's the truth. Not everyone's 4 a.m. needs to look the same. You might be a writer, or a student, or a parent. Your routine should match your season of life. Here are templates for different goals. For creators, 4 a.m. Wake, hydrate. 4:10 a.m. Movement, 4:30 a.m. Mind dump journaling, 5 a.m. Deep creative work, writing, designing, 6:30 a.m. Normal routine begins for professionals, 4 a.m. Wake, stretch, hydrate, 4:15 a.m. Plan day. Review calendar, 4:45 a.m. Study, touch, learn, read, 5:30 a.m. Fitness, 6:30 a.m. Shower, breakfast, emails. For mental clarity, 4 a.m. Wake, walk in silence. 4:30 a.m. Breathwork, meditation, 5 a.m. Journaling or reading, 45 a.m. Gentle movement, 6:30 a.m. Begin day. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, without noise. Step 6. Use triggers and anchors. To make a habit stick, attach it to something familiar. This is called habit stacking. Example. After I brush my teeth, I meditate for 2 minutes. After I stretch, I journal 1 sentence. Each micro win builds identity and momentum. Use visual anchors too. Place your journal on your pillow. Lay out your workout shoes. Leave a note on your mirror. You don't have to want to. You just have to show up. Step 7. Track progress, not perfection. Miss a day? Good. Now you get to build resilience. Use the 2-day rule. Never miss twice in a row. That's how habits survive. Track your mornings on a calendar or habit app. Reward yourself every 7 days with something small. Your brain loves rewards. It makes consistency easier. Step 8. Review and optimize every Sunday. Take 10 minutes and ask, what worked this week? What drained me? What would make my mornings smoother? This is your feedback loop. You're not just building a routine, you're becoming your own life designer. Step 9. Handle setbacks. With grace, life happens. You'll get sick. You'll miss your bedtime. Don't quit. Don't self-sabotage. Just reset. If you fall off track, don't punish yourself. Revisit your why, forgive the moment, and start fresh. Progress, perfection. Always. Step 10. Make it a mission, not just a morning. This isn't about 4 a.m. It's about ownership. Owning your time. Owning your story. Waking. Up early is symbolic. It says, I decide where my energy goes. Make your mornings about purpose, not performance. If 4 a.m. helps you feel alive, focused, and grounded, keep it. If not, shift it. But whatever you do, wake up with intention. Because when you do, life doesn't just happen to you anymore. You start to happen to life. Number. The 21-Day Challenge Transformation. Let's talk about what really happens when you commit to waking up at 4 a.m. for 21 days straight. Not as a gimmick. Not for social media, but as a challenge to transform who you are. Because change doesn't happen in theory. It happens in practice. In the micro moments. The mornings where you could hit snooze, but don't. The nights where you want to scroll, but choose sleep. That's where the shift begins. Here's what you can expect, day by day, week by week. Days 1 to 3. Resistance and doubt. The first few mornings are rough. You're tired. You're confused. Your brain screams, "What are we doing? This is totally normal." Your circadian rhythm is still locked into your old identity. Your body craves comfort. Your ego resists change. You'll second-guess the decision. You'll want to quit, but you haven't failed. You're in friction. Friction is the beginning of transformation. These first 3 days aren't about perfection. They're about proof. Proving to yourself that you're serious, that you can do hard things. And when you do, you plant the seed of momentum. Days 4 to 7. Adjustment and curiosity, you start falling asleep earlier. Your energy shifts. You feel groggy, but you're also intrigued. A new version of you is peeking through. You notice the mornings feel different, quieter, cleaner, more powerful. You might write more clearly, think more deeply, move more slowly, but with more purpose. The early hours become sacred. You're not fully adjusted yet, but you're starting to understand why this matters. This is where people either quit or commit. If you stay consistent, even if imperfectly, your brain begins to adapt. You go from "I'm doing this" to "I might be becoming this." Days 8 to 14. Flow and identity. Shift, this is where it clicks. You stop negotiating with your alarm. You don't dread the mornings. You own them. Your body wakes up before your phone even rings. Sleep becomes a priority, not a problem. You go to bed with intention. You begin to design your evenings around recovery and growth. Your thoughts feel clearer. You write more. You read more. You think about your life in new ways. You're not just waking up early. You're becoming someone who wakes up early. That subtle identity shift changes everything. You now feel pride, and pride builds consistency. Days 15 to 21. Transformation and power. By now, it's not hard. It's habitual. The 4 a.m. version of you isn't perfect, but they're present. You've faced doubt. You've faced fatigue. You've adjusted your routine and probably had a few off days. But now, the early hours don't just feel productive. They feel powerful. You use them to strategize, to reflect, to heal, to grow. You've learned how to protect your time, your energy, and your clarity. You've stopped reacting to life and started leading it. That's the real transformation, and it doesn't just happen because you wake up early. It happens because every morning you cast a vote for your future. The big wins. After 21 days, you trust yourself more. You've proven you can follow through. You've created momentum. One habit leads to another. You feel less anxious. Mornings are quiet. You start the day grounded. You're more intentional. You plan better. Think clearer. Act with purpose. You've redefined who you are. No longer chasing discipline. You embody it. And that's the power of the 21-day 4 a.m. challenge. You don't just build a habit, you build evidence. Evidence that you can be the kind of person who keeps promises, who lives intentionally, who doesn't wait for motivation, but generates it. Even if you don't stick to 4 a.m. forever, what you gain in these 21 days can last a lifetime. Because once you've experienced what it feels like to lead your day with power, you never want to go back to drifting. Number 8. Common pitfalls and how to beat them. Let's be honest. Waking up at 4 a.m. isn't all sunshine and productivity. There are real challenges. If you're not prepared, these pitfalls can derail your progress. So let's break down the most common traps and exactly how to beat them. Pitfall number 1. Not getting enough sleep. This is the number 1 mistake. People think discipline means sacrificing rest. But without 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, you're not disciplined. You're dysfunctional. Lack of sleep affects memory, focus, mood, and even immune health. You can't grind your way through. Fix it. Reverse engineer your bedtime. If you're waking up at 4 a.m., you need to be asleep by 8:30 or 9 p.m. Not scrolling, not watching Netflix. Asleep. Set a nighttime alarm. Dim the lights early. Treat sleep like your most important appointment, because it is. Pitfall number 2, burning out. Too fast. You go all in for 3 days. Cold turkey. Wake up early, hit the gym, meditate, journal, run a business, and crash by the weekend. This all or nothing mindset leads to burnout, not balance. Fix it. Start simple. Your first week might just be waking up early and journaling for 5 minutes. That's a win. Build momentum first. Intensity comes later. Progress isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing consistently. Pitfall number 3, lack of evening structure. You wake up early, but your evenings are chaos. You stay up late, eat junk, watch endless TikToks. No wind-down routine. That chaos ruins your mornings before they even begin. Fix it. Create a power-down hour. 1 hour before bed, disconnect from screens. Take a hot shower. Journal. Prepare clothes or tasks for the morning. Let your body know it's time to rest. Your morning success starts the night before. Pitfall number 4, social isolation. Let's face it, waking up at 4 a.m. can make you feel like you're living in a different time zone than your friends or family. You start missing late-night hangouts, and that can feel lonely. Fix it. Communicate your goals. Set boundaries. And find a morning accountability partner, someone who's also building better habits. Even just sharing progress with a friend helps normalize the journey. You're not weird. You're just early to the life you're meant to live. Pitfall number 5, forgetting your why. Motivation fades, alarms get snoozed, and without a clear reason, you'll fall off track. Fix it. Keep your why visible. Write it on a Post-it. Make it your lock screen. Remind yourself daily, you're not just waking up early, you're becoming someone new. Purpose drives persistence. Every challenge has a solution. The key is not avoiding failure, it's designing around it. Because if you can beat these pitfalls, you don't just win the morning, you win your momentum. And with momentum, you're unstoppable. By now, you've seen it all. You've explored the science, the stories, the systems, and the setbacks. And here's what it all comes down to. Waking up at 4 a.m. isn't really about the time. It's about the choice. The choice to stop drifting and start directing. The choice to build before the world wakes up. The choice to become the kind of person who doesn't wait for permission to change. You don't need more time. You need more ownership. That's what the 4 a.m. hour gives you. A pocket of freedom. A place to reset, reflect, and remember who you are and who you're becoming. You're not going to be perfect. You'll miss alarms. You'll stay up too late sometimes. But if you come back to your why, if you remember what it felt like to lead your day with purpose, you'll stay in motion, and that's everything, because momentum builds confidence. Confidence builds identity, and identity shapes the life you live. So maybe today's the day you stop telling yourself, "I'm not a morning person," and start asking, "What kind of person do I want to become?" Because the truth is, you don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. to change your life, but you do have to wake up to your habits, your time, your potential, your power, and maybe, just maybe. That starts tomorrow. At 4 a.m., this has been Wake Up at 4 a.m. and Change Your Life. If this moved you, inspired you, or challenged you, like this video, share it and subscribe for more content designed to unlock your highest potential. Your next chapter starts in the morning. Don't sleep on it.